Hey friends, it's Jessica, your online bestie. Okay, we're gonna get ready together and I'm gonna share some speed reviews on products I've been using for the past month, 2 months, 3 months, and how I'm feeling about them. Got drugstore stuff, got some high-end stuff. Cheers. Okay, I've gotten a lot of questions about this right here. This is the Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF. So this is the tinted version. I have the shade Light. But it's SPF of 50. I already love and have nearly used up their original version of this that's not tinted. I really like that stuff. It plays well with makeup. I feel like this is really, really similar. Ooh, I haven't used it in like a week and it had that little booger. But it does have that tint. It's not gonna be something that's gonna like provide coverage where you feel like, okay, now I'm good, I don't need makeup. I mean, you absolutely could. But this is not gonna do that if that's what you're planning to use it for like a bunch of coverage. It does provide a little bit of, perfecting is not really the right word because you're still gonna look a little bit moisture, like greasy is maybe a little over the top, but a little bit. So I feel like this is something that I have worn out without makeup on top, but it's not my favorite sunscreen to do that with. It's ever so slightly darker than my skin tone. And even though you really don't see the color, if you look at my face without it and with, you definitely can see a little bit of the tint. So again, that's true for, I think, literally any tinted SPF that I've ever tried, but it's just something worth noting if you were thinking about buying this for one reason or another, whether it's for coverage or something, this is not gonna be it. But I do think this does play well under makeup, especially if you have dry skin. I think it might be a little bit much for you. If you do have oily skin, I mean, the name is literally Dew Glow, so it's just not gonna be something you'd probably gravitate towards anyway. So I think the product is good. I think I would probably, in the end, just buy the original version of this when I run out of this versus getting the tinted one again. But I do think it is nice, but very oily. I think maybe a little more so than the original, but it's close. Another one I have been really enjoying lately is from Kiehl's. This is their Better Screen UV Serum. Tyler actually really loves this too, and now he has one he's been using every day. It is a very, very, very lightweight SPF, like super thin formula. It comes out white, blends in very quickly. Absolutely no white cast with this. My husband is very picky about what's going on his face, how long it takes to blend in. This is incredible. It adds a little bit of moisture. It's not over the top. If I'm being honest, the sunscreen I have worn the most on my face this like past month or really 2 out of the 2 has definitely been the Kiehl's, but there you go. I just think, again, if you have even kind of oily skin, you might prefer this over something like this. There's a huge price difference though. I'm a little torn. I want to do a ranking SPFs video, similar to how I did the drugstore foundations video I did earlier this summer. I'll link it if you have not seen it. Definitely go give it a watch. I feel like we're exiting out of we're all hopefully still using SPF on our face over the winter, but it's not as hot of a topic. So I'm like, do I want to do that as we're heading into fall? I should have done that at the beginning of summer. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'll sit on it until like spring. I do, however, want to get into doing ranking videos because I enjoy watching those. And so I think I'm gonna start going through my collection and doing ranking videos kind of in place of my declutter videos. We'll see what I actually do, but I'm just sharing some of my initial thoughts. All right, I love this stuff here. This is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. Right now, I probably could go a shade darker, but this is gonna be amazing for me in the fall and winter. This is the shade 20 Light Cool. It has good coverage, great staying power. It looks nice on the skin. Like it is just one of those products that e.l.f. knocked it out of the park with this, and I love the price point. I don't know, I'm such a fan. So this is a kind of like one initial layer, and it already gives some coverage, but I usually will kind of double it up. It also applies really nicely with the brush. You can see how much it covered with just a little bit. I've said before, and I'll say it again, I feel like this is very similar to the Flawless Finish foundation that I love, but some of you guys have mentioned you're still seeing that on the shelf. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not, but like I was kind of joking that maybe it's a reformulated version of that, which I loved that product, but the shade was never consistent when I would buy it in different places. Like the same shade would look different, you know what I mean? Either way, I love this stuff so much. So if you are in need of a new foundation that really is It's not super matte, it's not super dewy. I think it's got like medium coverage, but you can build it up. It's just one of those all around good everyday products that looks really nice, especially if you're going to work or maybe your teacher going back to school and wanting something fresh in your routine. I think you should give this a try. I think you will really, really like it. And think about it, this is going over that very dewy SPF, and I definitely can still see the dew. So I feel like it plays nicely with whatever you're wanting underneath it, but I'm definitely gonna end up setting this with powder. Gotta slow down. I mean, I want this to be quicker, not like 45 minutes long, but also I'm like, okay. I don't know if I've included this in one of my speed review type videos yet. I was kind of looking and I didn't see that I have, but this is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Concealer. Maybe I have. Well, either way, even more updated thoughts. I think this is okay. I wouldn't buy it again though. I just don't think it's anything better than like the Catrice one I love at the drugstore. It's not better than that, and that's like 10 bucks, and this is between 20 and 30. So I'm like, is it worth that price jump for me? No. So I don't feel like it's a necessary concealer to try if you're looking for one, but it's not bad. So if you love Fenty or you can find a really good shade match in that line or whatever, I don't think it's a bad concealer at all. Always trying to make sure, okay. The girls in school, Gigi, okay. So my daughter just entered kindergarten for those that are new around here. And after the long weekend, I'm filming this after Labor Day. After the long weekend, it was a little bit more of a tearful goodbye to go to kindergarten. It's always hard when you take like your first break of school. Going back is just hard. And for her, I mean, it's still, she's just so little. So there it is up close. It's okay. Definitely will need to set it. Okay, I just was trying to do my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow and it is completely out. So then I grabbed the Almay Brow Styler, and I can do a quick review on this one because I don't think I have. It's pretty good. It just definitely has more pigment. If you're wanting something more like the Gimme Brow where it's a little bit less pigment, a little easy breezy to apply, you probably wouldn't like this. This definitely packs a punch color-wise, so I was brushing through it with like a clean spoolie, and it takes a little more work for me, but I will say I really, really like this teeny tiny spoolie. So if that is what you're into, it was really easy to kind of wiggle at the base. I don't think this is one I would need to have again unless I found maybe a slightly better shade match for me. I have the shade medium brown, but it is a good product. So there you go. Speed review I didn't plan to do, which is why I didn't film a clip of me using it. Okay. So this is the Lancome little liquid eyeshadows. So I have these two colors. I've really been enjoying them. This lighter one has been great for easy days where I just kind of want a nice wash of shimmer without having to think about it. This has been beautiful for that. And this, the few times I've worn this on camera, either on Instagram stories, whatever, so many of you guys ask about because the color, it really is beautiful. It's the shade 04. And these are easy to use in that they're really thin and lightweight, kind of bouncy almost. And so you've got time to kind of blend it if you want. So I'll typically just tap it all over the eyelid and then, you know, grab a hopefully clean brush and just use that to blend. And then I'll get a little bit more. Sometimes I'll get a little bit on the brush directly and do that. But it's just a really pretty, I feel like almost peachy color. But I think heading into fall, this shade can be so, so pretty. And it's a fun way, like if you're like me, I don't really use a lot of bright colors in my makeup. This is a way to get just a little bit of color, but it's still wearable for my comfort level on myself. And it does not budge. Like I haven't noticed these creasing or anything. I think because it is such a thin formula and you really don't need a lot, and especially if you blend it nicely, I haven't noticed it creasing. So really like this. And like I said, the cream, like ivory shimmer shade is really pretty too. So just to give you an idea, I've never actually done this, but I'm gonna try to tap a little bit of the shimmer on top of this. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's because it's not really a shimmer, it's more of like a glow. Isn't that pretty though? Kind of gives a glossy eyelid look without actually being a sticky gloss. We're gonna talk about another product here in a second that gives the glossy look, but not quite in the same way. So I really, really love that shimmer. Honestly, I think if you were buying one, I would go for the shimmer. I feel like it's more versatile. You can use it in a lot of ways and alone, whereas this, I mean, there's kind of like one way to use it. But yeah, really, really like that. And now I know that that works really well together because I think that looks really pretty. So the eye gloss that I want to talk about is from Rem Beauty. After that disaster of a video, this is an interesting product, but I have definitely learned that if you want that lip gloss look on your eyes, I always say it's like a Disney character. You can't have anything under this. And when I say anything, I mean even if you have a little bit of concealer underneath it or something like that, it is going to grab any pigment on your skin and gather it into the lines with it. You know what I mean? So I had tried this originally on top of eyeshadow and it definitely did not work. It looked cool when you first apply it, but throughout, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Alone, it's cool. It has that glossy feeling. It stays slightly sticky, but I just don't know. When I can get a similar look with something like this that I don't have to worry about, I just don't know that it's worth it. So I think it's a decent eye gloss, but I just think eye glosses in general are more work than they're worth. So there you go. Also, I would stay away from most of that brand. I was burned by that. I'm still thinking about it, okay? Never been more disappointed. All right, let me throw on some liner and then we're gonna talk about this mascara. I'm gonna give this another go. Okay, this is the Covergirl Eye Enhancer. So when I had tried this in a recent video, I thought it was burning my eyes. I had like a whole episode off camera, like 30 minutes of my eye being red and watery and burning. I was thinking it was this. So I was like, okay, never using that again. But a lot of you guys mentioned, like, Jess, you had sunscreen on your hand and then it was a whole thing. And so we're all collectively thinking it was probably the sunscreen. And I think you guys are right. So we're gonna give this a try again. This has the kind of wand I typically like, more of a natural bristle wand. Not gonna touch the eyes. The one thing about this is I feel like it clumps really quickly. It is a very wet formula, which is a weird combo for this brush. Like I feel like usually wet formulas are on more of the plasticky, rubbery bristle type brush. And so I just felt like then, and I feel like now, it can look fine, but it definitely can kind of make you look like you only have like 7 lashes versus separating them really nicely, which is what I typically prefer. As always, I will link my #1 mascara recommendation down below from the drugstore, which is still cheaper than this, and it's so good. And you know how it is. When you found something that works, you compare other things to it, and when it falls short of it, you're like, well, then it's not worth it. This is definitely one of those for me that I think you could pass on this launch. I just don't think it's great, and I always end up needing to separate them a bit on my own so that I don't look like I have 6 lashes. That's all. But it did make my eyes burn, so there you go. Also, if you don't have this tool, oh my gosh, amazing for separating lashes. Yeah, like I literally want to go in with another mascara. I still gotta live the rest of my day and I just don't love the way it looks. Grabbing Essence Lash Princess. Save the day, please. Let me know below, which do you prefer? A wet formula for mascara or a drier one? I mean, I think probably most of us would prefer one that's kind of middle of the road. But if you had to pick one way or another, like which way it leans, I definitely would prefer a drier one. I feel like it's easier to work with. You can get it to kind of stay in place when you apply it, whereas the wet, you feel like it's just moving around. All right, I'm intentionally waiting to set my face because I want to apply these 2 products and then I cannot wait to set this mug. All right, so let's review on the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. So it has a pump and it also has a doe foot. So this is a lot like the Kat Von D one, if you ever tried that one, where it really is more of a serum. And this is very close to my skin tone. So it's kind of one of those things that if I ever purchase this again, would probably go just a touch darker. But the thing I love about this is that it is beautiful. It looks like skin. Now, the downside to this is I don't think this lasts super long throughout the day. I think by about like 4 or 5 hours in, it's usually gone. So a lot of times if I'm using this, I'll lightly dust. I mean, it helps if you put just straight up powder on it, but I'll usually lightly dust a little bit of some kind of powder bronzer on top. But like if I'm going out, if I'm getting ready and it's like 5 p.m. and we're gonna go to dinner, I'll just use this and really enjoy it for how it looks. And I know it's only gonna last like 4 or 5 hours and that's okay because I'm only gonna be out like 4 or 5 hours. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends on what you're looking for and how you use it. But I definitely feel like I can't get enough on the doe foot. So I end up typically using the pump and just kind of tapping it onto my hand and then tapping it on. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, you guys. So it's one of those things, but I have the shade, if you're my shade twin, light. I might consider going a shade darker eventually, but for now, this looks very natural and very nice. And then this blush from Haus Labs, it is the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm. I love this formula. I think it is so pretty. It really is more like I feel like gel's not the right term. I can't think of what to call it though, but it's just a very comfortable blush. I do think it lasts decently well on the skin. Again, same thing though, I'm gonna have to powder my skin and I'm just gonna put powder over all of this to make it last a little bit longer. So I think part of it will matter what your base is like. Like if my skin were more matte right now, this would go okay. I feel like it's gone okay over powder when I'm using my finger, and it definitely will last longer. So I've definitely been finding myself gravitating towards like mattifying my skin a little bit more because I love the look of dewy things. But again, when you're really thinking about longevity, you're kind of battling like which battle do you want to fight today? Do you want to fight the grease and things sliding all around and not lasting long but looking pretty for a little bit? Or do you want to battle maybe your skin looking powdery but your makeup lasting a little bit longer? And I'm starting to lean in towards the powder because I just feel like, you know, I take all this time to do my makeup some mornings and I really do want it to last. And I know I have a unique job where I'm not going to, you know, like when I used to teach, going there and wanting it to last all day, then I definitely would have powdered. But I always think, well, I could touch up throughout the day. I never touch up throughout the day. Never. So that was the Kosas Cloud set, which you guys know I've loved for a long time. Lip-wise, the e.l.f. Sunboss Gloss is just okay. It doesn't look bad on the lips, but I don't know. I just feel okay about it. I, to be honest, have not gotten to use it much just in the sun, and I still love the idea that this is an SPF lip gloss. I just don't think, like, if you're wanting it to be like the greatest gloss you've ever used, it's not gonna be that, but for the job it serves, for the purpose it serves, I do think it is really, really cool. I always feel like I can never get enough on the brush, but I appreciate too that it's not sticky at all. So, you know, it's one of those things that I think it's a genius product and I hope they continue to launch more shades. This one I do like, however, in blush much. I think the original one I got was like a little bit darker and I didn't love that. But if you are wanting a new lippy from e.l.f., what I would really, really recommend, especially going into fall, is the e.l.f. Pout Clout Plumping Pen. This is in the shade Toasted. This shade is like the perfect fall shade. I have had this in my purse so much, I had to go dig it out, especially with more nude looks. It doesn't pull pink at all, which again, like when I've got an eye look like this, I feel like pink lips look weird, like it clashes. This is perfect. I don't really need a lip liner with it. It definitely has that plumping feeling after a minute or two, slight tingle. It's nothing crazy. Y'all know I'm a baby about it. It's nothing crazy. So big fan of this, would definitely repurchase. So 2 more quick reviews. The Charlotte Tilbury foundation stick. Please stay away from this stuff, you guys. I think it might have given me some breakouts as I continued to try to use it. It does not, it breaks apart on my skin so quickly, so quickly. I could not make it look good. Like, it's just one of those products that I think on someone with absolutely flawless skin, it could look incredible. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful, right? But in actuality on me, it just does not look good. If you love this stuff, please tell me how you're using it. I wanna make this work, okay? I really do. And I'm willing to give it a go. Like I said, I feel like it was giving me some breakouts. Really hard to tell what it was. I guess if I do use this again and I get, maybe I'll know, but yeah, let me know if you found a way to make this work, because I don't want to get rid of it yet because I'm like, I want to like this, but I don't know. I don't know. Another fave though is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Butter Bronzer and Blush like mix. I rediscovered this, so forgive me, I may have talked about this in a past speed reviews, but I'll just get it, all of it on the brush and just tap it all over. So then all of those creams I just used, this kind of is a bronzy blushy color, and I just tap it on all of it and I feel like it looks so pretty. I'll tap a little bit up there. It's got a little bit of glow. Like, it's just one of those all-in-one products that can do the job of setting your bronzer and blush for you, but also add a little bit more, and it's really pretty. So that has become something I use nearly every single day, and it surprised me how much I fell in love with this. All right, so I wanna share the things that I would repurchase. Like, if I lost them or used them up, what would I actually seek out and buy again? Because I feel like that's the most helpful thing I can share with you. The things I would repurchase would be the Physicians Formula Bronzer and Blush, like I said, The e.l.f. Soft Glam would totally repurchase. Like I said, I might buy another one in a slightly darker shade, although now that we're kind of fading into fall, this is probably good. I have repurchased the Kiehl's Better Screen UV Serum, so although I guess I did give that repurchase one to Tyler, but still, I also ended up buying a travel size. They sell like a little teeny tiny one of this for travel. That's how much I like this formula, but it's so expensive. So it's kind of one of those things that I would repurchase. I have technically, but I don't know, but I do love it. So I would say I would. The e.l.f. Pout Clout Pen, 100% would repurchase this shade in Toasted. And I would probably repurchase the Lancome Idol Cream Shadow, especially this one, because again, I just love the look that it gives and it's so easy. See, there's a couple others, and then ones that I'm on the fence about this, like about repurchasing, the Makeup by Mario and the Haus Labs. I love these, but I don't know if I did repurchase the Makeup by Mario, I'd get a different shade. This one I would consider. I just have a lot of blushes I also love, but I really do like that formula. The rest of them, I'm not sure that I would. So I hope that this was enjoyable, helpful, whatever. Maybe you're just hanging out with me and you don't even care about makeup. I don't know. Let me know if there are any makeup products out there that you're wanting me to try, test out for science. Let me know in a comment. If you are new around here, I really hope you'll subscribe and stick around. I will link some of my recent makeup videos, especially my affordable makeup videos that I've done lately, down in the description box and up in that little eye if you want to stick around and watch some more. I just did a drugstore dupes video, so definitely check that one out. And I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.